Okay, this is my introduction. Whew. I need to begin by saying that I am deeply troubled by what my investigation has uncovered today. And I've asked myself a hard question. Why did it take me this long to see it? It's things that I've been saying for years, but I just couldn't quite put my finger on it. The answer is that I was on the wrong path. I was doing what so many others do, trying to change laws, trying to make the police do their job, trying to force accountability from institutions that never seem to respond. What I understand now is this: the police are doing their job. They are doing exactly what the system requires of them. This is not failure, it is design. I always knew the system was working as it was intended to work. What I did not understand until now was how. And today I finally do. CPS, family courts, and the vanishing of child abuse evidence. Mother's Nature, deep dive investigation. This episode examines why child abuse cases so often fail to reach a charging decision when family courts are involved. This is not an allegation against individual prosecutors. It is an examination of structure, process, and outcome. In my own case, my daughter gave 2 recorded police interviews, totaling approximately 2 hours of evidence. That evidence was formally taken, logged, and retained by police, with additional items recovered that I would not have known about. Despite sustained efforts, that evidence was never submitted to the Crown Prosecution Service for a charging decision. Afterwards, a historic child abuse review panel was formed while Keir Starmer was Director of Public Prosecutions. I personally delivered a letter in London to Sir Keir Starmer explaining why my daughter's case met every criteria for a review. The response was not a review, but a referral back to the same officers who had not progressed the case. Around the time, a superintendent confirmed in writing that the case was being submitted to the CPS. Shortly after that communication, I was recalled to prison on something that I successfully appealed. The case again went no further. A second case followed a different path. In that case, a child's evidence did reach the CPS. A charging decision was made for sexual offences involving a child under 13. While family court proceedings were active, those charges were later dropped. The mother appealed a family court decision in London before the president of the family division, Lord Mumby, who just recently passed away, and did not succeed. The very same day, the children were removed from school and placed directly into foster care. They were later placed with the accused father. These cases reveal a pattern. When family courts take jurisdiction, criminal accountability can stall or disappear. The absence of prosecution is then relied upon within family court as evidence that allegations were false or exaggerated. Can you see it yet? Can you see it? Family courts are not truth-finding courts. Family court findings reflect legal determinations based on evidence presented at a given time and should not be treated as definitive proof of factual truth regarding alleged coaching or abuse. They are risk management courts. This creates a closed loop in which children's disclosures are reinterpreted and protective parents are discredited. I don't think there's any parent out there that's not more discredited than I am. This episode asks one question. If criminal courts do not proceed and family courts do not determine truth, where does accountability for child sexual abuse actually sit? This is a question that Rupert Lowe needs to know. Everybody's now with this his new channel, his new investigation into the grooming gangs. They're all saying that arrest the police and they all need thrown in jail. Until that question is answered, children will continue to fall between systems. And mothers who seek protection will continue to be punished. Addendum: Police, CPS, attachment injury and honouring survival. Police and CPS, why cases never reach charge. This addendum brings together the policing and CPS realities uncovered during this investigation. The public is led to believe that once abuse is reported, the police investigate and the CPS decide whether to prosecute. In reality, most cases never reach the CPS at all. You can report a crime, but the police decide whether they're going to pass the evidence to the CPS or not. It's not automatic. Police act as gatekeepers long before any prosecutor sees a file. Decisions are made based on perceived likelihood of conviction, institutional risk, reputational exposure, and complexity. Cases involving fathers, family court proceedings, or positions of trust are widely recognised as among the most difficult and resource-intensive to prosecute. When criminal allegations run alongside family court proceedings, police often downgrade criminal pursuit in favour of safeguarding pathways. Evidence may be retained but not progressed. Files may be delayed, quietly closed, or never formally submitted to the CPS at all. LADO investigations demonstrate this clearly. A LADO, L-A-D-O, local authority designated officer process can acknowledge serious safeguarding risk while stopping short of criminal prosecution, allowing institutions to manage risk without exposing failures publicly. The absence of prosecution is then later presented as proof that allegations were unfounded, even when no criminal decision was ever made. Before I end, I need to explain what this does to a child over time. Part 2. Attachment injury, the outcome never measured. What happened to my daughter has a name. It's called attachment injury. At the end of this podcast, it is essential to explain the human cost of these decisions. My daughter is now 22 years old. She has no relationship with me. She was removed from me age 6. She has never met her younger sister, who is 14. She is hostile toward me. This is not evidence that she was better off without her mother. It is evidence of attachment injury. Attachment injury occurs when a primary caregiving bond is severed abruptly under conditions of fear, coercion, or conflict. Children rely on that bond for emotional regulation, identity, and safety. When it is broken, the child must adapt in order to survive. One common adaptation is emotional distancing. Another is hostility toward the absent parent. This hostility is not hatred, it is protection. Allowing love would reopen overwhelming loss. So the bond is buried in order to cope. This is not evidence of success. It is evidence of damage. Hostility is not rejection. Silence is not indifference. Distance is not lack of love. They are survival strategies. Part 3, honouring survival. I want to end by honouring my daughter. Oh, God. Not as a problem to be explained, but as a survivor to be respected. Despite everything she has endured, she got herself to university. She is now completing a master's degree, I believe. Obviously, I don't know, really. That did not happen because she was untouched by what happened to her. It happened because she is resilient, intelligent, and determined. Her achievements are not the evidence. Her achievements are not evidence that she was unharmed. They are evidence of her strength. If my daughter had learned to survive without her mother, then that is something I honour. That is something I honour, not resent. Survival often requires emotional distance, self-reliance, and silence. I do not see that as rejection. I see it as adaptation. And I want her and others like her to know this. Surviving does not erase the truth of what was lost. And it does not mean the bond never mattered. It means the bond mattered so much that her mind did what it had to do to keep going. I just can't imagine it. I'm sorry, I just can't imagine being ripped away from your mother at 6 years old. I just can't imagine what their little brains do. It's not just my daughter. We're talking about thousands of children. There's 80,000 care orders in the UK. And every day a child ages out of that care system. And every day a new child enters it. So every day you've got people, children, being taken from mothers. In my closing statement, what I'm saying is this. The system has been designed the way it operates. The pathways, the incentives, the thresholds for action, and the outcomes are not accidental. Decisions have been made about where money flows, how risk is managed, and who carries the burden when the system needs someone to blame. And again, that burden falls on the person who is easiest to control, the protective mother. What is most disturbing is not that abuse exists in society. Abuse has always existed. But that the structures meant to respond to it so often fail to deter it. When crimes against children are not consistently investigated or prosecuted, when safeguarding replaces accountability, and when silence is treated as resolution, the message sent is a dangerous one. It does not protect children, it exposes them. The long-term fallout is not abstract. It is generations of traumatized children growing into traumatized adults, families fractured, and harm multiplied. This is why I'm speaking now, not because I am angry, but because I finally understand how the system works, and because understanding carries a responsibility. I wanted to do this further down the line, this podcast today, but because my mind goes and thinks, and I needed to get it on my channel immediately. I've got a whole bunch, I keep saying this at the end of every podcast, I've got a whole bunch of printed out podcasts that are really interesting. And I'm going to get round to putting them all on my channel. But I just thought that mothers watching this will have the same light bulb moment that I had today. I literally went like that today. That's it, and I find it incredulous. But can you please like and share, and please comment. I'm not getting many comments, and this is just the beginning of my channel. But I will be I'm doing an interview on radio next week, so I will be promoting my channel more then, and hopefully it will get out to the wider audience, because my goal is 100,000 subscribers this year. I know there's thousands and thousands of victims and survivors, and I just want to build a community and help people like Rupert Lowe understand where they think it's going wrong. The system thinks it's working perfectly fine. So thank you for listening, and my next podcast, it will be there soon. Thank you.